What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and welcome to Ash vs. Evil Dead Episode 3 Recap. Remember to subscribe to my channel and also support me on Patreon and PayPal, and let's get into it. Now, when we first kick us off in the Episode 3, they're at the funeral home, and Ash's daughter Brandy is saying, well, I guess I'll give you a second chance since the town and my mom and everybody else gave you a second chance. What the hell? And so while they're just deciding on that, the funeral director, Paul Bearer, comes in, and he's telling them, we got a special viewing area for the family. He said, Ash say, that's not a good idea since she had a little chip chop on the top. And so he said, well, we replaced it, reattached it. Go check a look. So Ash goes in, takes a look, and to lo and behold, she looks pretty good, put back together. And so he took a fork just to be careful and sticks her with the fork, stick a fork in her to see if she was done. And so, of course, she wasn't going to pop up. She's not a deadite because, the deadites need a head. And so now that she got the head, he was just double checking. And so he said, well, Candace, besides having a bad name, you weren't too bad. And then he was leaving, he say, and out of all the girls, you gave the best. And then he looked and said, oh, wait a minute, and something's wrong. The body's missing out of the casket. And so he's going closer to take a look and to do a little further inspection. And when he looks over into the casket, a couple hands reach out and grab him and get a little head. And so they got him by the head, yank him into the casket, and then the door closes. So now Ash, of course, with his trusty right hand, got a flashlight attached. He looks around, and then there she goes, right between his legs as a deadite. She tries to grab his Johnson. He's saying, not the Johnson. She pulls out the finger, say, just like old times. Try to get a little rectal examination. He screams and he fights, and then next thing you know, the lid pops out. He's fighting her, grabbing by the boobies, and then she say, let me give you a kiss. What's wrong? How will this help? And she sticks her tongue through her picture. And of course, Ash grabs the picture, rips it off, and of course the little tongue pops out, give her a quick tongue lashing. And so now she's sitting there screaming with no tongue, blood everywhere. And so now she's trying to bite him. He sticks out the mighty hand. She's biting on the hand. So now what he does is he rips off the hand away from her, and it rips the jaw off. Now she ain't got no jawbone. Greasy, bloody goo all over the place. He grabs the picture and decides to do a little decapitation, or better yet, a recapitation, because he decapitated it twice now. And so he didn't do the first time, but he sure made sure it was done right the second time. And as he gets out the casket, typical Ash fashion, he messes up and knocks the casket closed, and it knocks him upside the head. So now he's sleeping to the casket. Meanwhile, they're getting ready to start the service. Everybody's waiting. She's asking the director for a little more time before they get started. He's saying it's time to start now. So she starts to do the service, and while she starts to do the service, she hears a little knick-knack paddywhack inside the casket. So she turns and looks, and of course Ash jumps out the casket, and he had Candy Bar's head between his legs. That's what you call getting a little head, taking it too far. And so when he gets up, the head falls on the floor and rolls off in front of everybody. And so then he tries to pick the head up, put it behind his back, and then like moonwalk backwards and drop it in there as if nobody saw him. Everybody's grossed out looking at him like a damn fool. He tries to put the picture back on top so everybody could remember how she was and sit down like nothing happened. But of course, the daughter runs off, Brandy runs off in disgust, and he turns looking like, oh, brother. And little does he know, there's Ruby right behind him. And he's like, oh, no, what are you doing back? And so now the daughter's like, what are you doing? That's my guidance counselor. And she's like, no, she's a hell beast. You need to stay away from her. And she's like, no, I need to stay away from you. And right when they was arguing, the damn casket falls over and the head falls off. Meanwhile, we see the ghost beaters, Pablo and the crew, and they in the woods looking for the dagger. And so they digging holes looking for it and trying to find the dagger so they can, help destroy evil. Meanwhile, Brandy has the guidance counselor drop her back off, which is Ruby, and get her stuff. And she say, I'll be back. I'll meet you at your house. Now we cut to the cemetery. Ruby, while she dropped off Brandy, goes to the cemetery, gets the butterfly. Check out Monarch Butterfly Programming if you're not sure about that. Gets a little blood, little juice, puts it on there, mixes it with some dirty words out the book, and next thing you know, we got a hand job. Now, we see back at the house, Brandy starting to listen to little old school mixtapes, playing a little music. Evil comes through the house, busts right through the front door. Now we cut back, we see Ash pulling up to the house in old Belt Supreme. Then he comes in, and lo and behold, this is Pops. Paparazzi's in there talking with Brandy, and they laughing at his commercials that he got on TV. And so he's like, hey man, that's good stuff. Anyway, what are you doing here? You're dead. She like, he's not dead, he's right here. He like, I'm spending time with my granddaughter I didn't know I had. Meanwhile, back in the woods, we see Kelly. She's found the dagger. So she's all smiles on me. And next thing you know, the evil's return is coming through. Everybody starts to run and hide, break out. Next thing you know, Kelly's looking for him, and she finds Dalton has got a steak in his chest. And so now they done turned him into a steak burger. He asking for the dagger. She won't give it to him. And next thing you know, he just flip-flops on him. He then flip-flop into a demon on her and tries to attack her for it. And then right before anything can happen, Pablo comes through with the pickup truck and just runs him over and turns him into roadkill. Meanwhile, back at the house, Ash wanted to talk to Pops alone in the kitchen. And he's saying, what are you doing back? And he said, oh yeah, that Sasquatch, that big slice of evil brought me back from the dead. Oh yeah. And so now I'm back. He's like, well, you ain't supposed to be back, you dead. And then Pops grabs a can of beans and tries to throw it at him, but Ash moves and it hits Brandy square in the head. And so then they begin to fight while Brandy's laid out on the floor. And then Pops grabs Ash and he says, I like my kids cooked well done. And so then Ash fights Pops. He flips him back around. He's saying, oh yeah, I love the smell of old man in the morning. And that's a bite off of Apocalypse Now. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. And so then they fighting. Pops got the super strength as a deadite. He throws Ash around against the wall, throws Ash up against the couch, flips him over on his back, and then let him behold, Ash sees old trusty Saw. And so then he grabs the chainsaw, flips his hand in and out, and now it's time to dance. And so what he does is then he gets in front of Pops and sticks it right in the belly like a piggy bank, and then starts chopping him up. And then all the blood and guts starts squirting out, and right when that happened, of course, Brandy will wake up and stand right behind him, and then she gets sprayed up and wetted up like she just won the wet t-shirt contest at the Bloody Mary reunion. Carrie Part 2. She just in disbelief looks down at her granddaddy, sees his guts all busted out, looking like fresh chitlins, and also looking like he was in Aliens Part 2 too. And so then she's just sitting there getting soaked, super soaker supreme with the saw inside of granddaddy. And then once it's over, Ash is saying, hey, let me explain. And she like, it's nothing to say. I wish it was you that was dead. He like, wait, I didn't kill him. He was already dead. And she's saying, yeah, right. And then she runs out the house, and then he's trying to explain. He say, kids. And so that's how the episode ended. It was pretty good. A lot of action as always. They're doing a great job with the actors with this series. And if you all want to see some more of my other reviews, check out some of my other videos. And don't forget to subscribe. Click that like button. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.